you're on mute.
That makes sense why everyone's ignoring me.
So it's nice to see you back to normal. Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, I just thought I'm not wearing my white shirt today. Yes, and my waistcoat, because the amount of people that are sending me messages to change what I'm wearing. So I thought I'd wear my cardigan today. Anyway, welcome aboard and thank you for attending our 17th webinar. Before we start, I've got to always say this. If you really don't want to be videoed and under the new rules of
GDPR.
Thank you. Could you please leave? Got that out of the way. And really great pleasure tonight, really going to introduce SIG, which we're nearly there with the contracts, aren't we, Steve?
Yeah, that's done. Done today.
Oh, signed today?
Yep.
Paul, we signed our part.
Yep, that's all done today.
Oh, great. Okay, you're officially a partner of LNPG as of today. Now, SIG are going to be the specialist on roofing. So it doesn't matter which branch you go in, they will be a specialist on roofing. All to do with roofing, installation of roofing. Am I correct in saying that, Steve?
Absolutely, yeah. SIG have got two sides to the business. One is SIG distribution. Actually, well, that's a lie. We've probably got 4 or 5 sides to the business, but the two main sides are SIG distribution and SIG exteriors or SIG roofing, depending on what you want to call it.
Yeah. Let's put it roofing for easy.
Yep. So SIG Roofing is the part of the company that I work for, and my colleague Craig Sidda works for, who's also on the call with us.
Yep.
So yeah, sorry, Nick, carry on.
No, and again, that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about how it's going to work. Yes, because we're going to set up accounts for every member. I am correct in saying that as well. So there's going to be a 3 to 6 week process in getting them all accounts open. Am I correct in saying that?
Well, hopefully it might be a little bit quicker. We're aiming for everybody to be live with a cash account by the 1st of November.
Okay.
That is our aim.
Yeah.
If there is going to be a delay, then I'll let you know. But that's
the 1st of December. I know you lot.
Before we get going though, Steve, is it a possibility to, if members are desperate for roofing products now, to put them through you and get them to be looked after as an LNPG member on an individual basis?
Absolutely, yes. We've already done 3 or 4 flat roofs for people, done some Velux blinds, some Velux roof lights, and some normal sort of concrete plain tiles, already done and processed and paid for and delivered already. So if you have got an inquiry that you'd like for materials for, then by all means, please send it through directly to me or directly to the email address that will come up in this slide pack in just a second, which is a very simple email. It's lnpg@sigroofing.com. So there's a south version and a north sales team that are going to look after the south and the north. Birmingham is classed as north, and anything south of that is...
I think we've lost audio on you, Steve.
Oh,
you're back.
You're back.
Which bit did you get to?
We got up to the bit where you said that Paul Hilliard is a northerner. Birmingham's in the north.
Yes. So, sorry, Paul, I'm glad you didn't hear the rest of that. But yeah, so Birmingham is in the north. So it'll be dealt with by the northern team, which is led by Jed. And then the southern team, which is led by Paul. And as I say, on the slide deck shortly, there is the contact details, phone numbers and email addresses for those relevant people. Okay, great. So we're hopefully for going, let's just say 3 to 4 weeks, get the accounts open, but we can get it open if anybody's got an emergency or they need roofing apartment today. And I'm so glad you said that we have tested this and it really does work. Yeah, is that we've had like 6 or 7 people come to you and they've all brought through you.
wasn't like, oh, the price was wrong. It seemed to work really, really well. I am correct again saying that. So I've been really, really pleased with the feedback. And it's like everything. It's getting the contract sorted out, what we want, how we want to be looked after. And because Steve's already had a lot of experience with LNPG, it was a lot quicker, but still had to jump through some hoops, and also to get your senior director level on board as well. So really, Steve, so I'm really, really pleased. I know what's coming. Yeah. So what we normally do is you normally talk for 10 minutes and then go through the list of questions and Anthony reads them out, and then we move on with the presentation. So Steve, if you want to introduce yourself and Craig, fire away.
Okay. So, sorry, did you want to do part of the presentation as we're going along then and then stop, or?
Yeah,
Let's do this presentation because the introductions of you and Craig are in there anyway.
Yes, they are.
Oh, fine. Okay. Go on, fire away then.
That's better. Perfect. Yes, so welcome and thank you for letting us come on to your lock-in. That is myself. I've been working in the builders merchants for the last 20 odd years, perhaps 23 years, mainly within the general merchant sector. And then I did 10 years working in the public sector, dealing with HAs, LAs, contractors, framework providers, and dealing with contracts ranging from yearly contracts, ranging from sort of $250,000 up to $5 million a year. Plenty of experience with dealing with local, regional and national housing providers and contractors as well. So I've got plenty of experience of doing general materials. My roofing experience is there, but it's not perhaps as good as my colleague Craig Sidda's, who's also on the call, and he'll introduce himself in the next slide. But we do have a tremendous amount of backup from every branch. It's not like going into a normal merchant where you might have somebody that's standing on the front counter that knows zero about any product. They're just there because they want a job. Virtually every roofing branch throughout the country, there is knowledgeable people in every branch. Nobody will look at you blankly. So if you've got a question, no matter how complicated or how easy that question might be to them, it might not be to you, but how easy it is to them, and they'll be able to answer the question for you, no problem. And if they don't know the answer, which will be very rare, but if they don't know the answer, then they've got plenty of backup for the years of experience in them. Yeah, if you use my boss as an example, who's now 64, but he's been working in the roofing industry since he was 14. So if there's any questions that you've got and I don't know the answer to them, then you can rest assured that Gordon Brown will know the answer to them. He's Scottish, but he's not. He wasn't the Prime Minister. So I'll pass. Yes.
Oh dear me, Steve, is that the best joke you got?
I'm afraid so, mate. I'm afraid so. But I'll pass you over to Craig, and he can introduce himself to you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Craig Sidda. Very similar background to Steve, although, as you'll be able to see from the screenshot, predominantly I've been involved with manufacturing rather than distribution, although I've had, you know, in excess of 10 years experience in distribution. Mainly working within the public sector, working with registered social landlords, or local authorities as they were back in the day, but and a wide experience of the sector as well as roofing experience and knowledge as well. Just to add to what Steve said, there is a great deal of knowledge and expertise in our branches. However, the two sales officers as well, which will be a contact later on in the slide, the northern and southern region do have extensive experience as well. So the backup's there to support your needs and any inquiries and advice we can give is there. So, and that's it really. Again, dealing with contractors, architects, specifiers, right from creating specifications to supplying materials, to a design or a value engineered situation really. So yeah, that's me.
Okay, great. So if somebody's got a new house, building a new house, or they're doing something quite different, you'll help them to put the roof on, design the roof as it were.
Yeah, the guarantees and warranties that are associated not only with the manufacturers we use, but within our one warranty system that Steve will touch on later on, is really a design of the roof, not just a performance of an individual product. So we're really not just going to sell you a bunch of roof tiles and disappear. We want the roof to perform, to breathe, to keep weather out, and basically at least last for the time and that it's supposed to do, and keep the property, whatever its purpose is, dry. So.
And Craig, I'm so glad you said that, because I started on roofs when I was an apprentice carpenter and joiner, and I nearly fell off the roof, so I put my tools down and I got off the roofing. I went indoors.
Good move, Nick.
I did not work on roofs, but it's so important that not just about the product, it's about the breathe, the air that flows through the roof, okay? Yeah. It's about the moisture separation of getting that out as you get the summers and winters cold, and the roofs take so much of the brunt of the weather. It's having that planned, your gable ends are correctly done. Yes, it's about also the joists and the way they're laid out and what tiles you're putting on and your membranes and all that. So, and again, that's so important. So there will be people in the branch to help and guide and recommend things of that nature. Is that correct?
Of course. And if, for instance, one of your guys, male or female, happen to come across somebody who maybe doesn't have that extensive knowledge, there will be somebody available that will. And I know it's an old adage, but if we can't answer you straight away, we'll find somebody who can, and we'll get the information back to you. And that's where mine, Gordon, Steve's knowledge and a lot of our colleagues will assist. You're so right, Nick, about it's like a contradiction in a way. You want to keep the house weather tight, but then you can't keep it too weather tight, because if you don't have airflow through the roof, when there's that clash of temperatures, it creates moisture like it does in any environment.
Absolutely.
And the important thing is that moisture has the opportunity to move away. So that's where your airflow through a roof serves its purpose.
So, absolutely so important, but a lot of people don't know that. And the only reason I know it is because I did a 5-year apprenticeship on it. So it's about all that information.
Absolutely.
And a lot of members aren't going to know that. They'll get, and it's not always about the cheapest. There are firms out there that would put, oh, I'll do that for $2,500. They just slap a roof on, and then you have major problems within 2-3 years because of rotten timbers. I've seen a roof go in nearly 2.5 years where joists are just collapsing.
And it becomes very expensive as well from there on. So it's important that we protect those timbers. It's that we do. It's not necessarily about the cheapest. It's a matter of meeting the specification, but on occasions and without cheapening any proposal or specification, with the knowledge we have, we can value engineer a situation. So if we've got a broad specification, it needs to become a bit tighter, we can work with it. And we're always conscious we're spending public sector money. So we have to ensure that you're getting best value at all times, however, not to the point where we compromise any standards. So,
absolutely. The reason why I've interacted or put that in there is that members, because they're not probably roof specialists, they need to understand there's a lot of things to be included in that design. It's not just putting something on the wall or a kitchen unit or tiles on a bathroom. It's a lot more than that. And that's why it's so great to have you coming on board and helping our members, because they're not going to have specifications. They're not going to understand why you can't put that on, why the picture's got to be X, Y, Z.
Absolutely. And thank you for the opportunity. I mean, you've all, just listening to the start, I mean, you've all done Steve's done a great job with you guys, and we're here to back up everything that is obviously promoted already, and we can. So
I've seen a roof collapse because they've got concrete tiles on the new modern joists, the rafters, and it just collapsed.
Yeah.
The weight. So it's about weight against what?
Well, it is, and we've got to, particularly where there's a re-roof or refurbishment situation, most planners will want you to put on similar to what you've taken off.
Yeah.
But the weight of the roof is so critical to the fabric of the building, because logic suggests that it's the roof and gravity that's holding it down to a degree. So the guidelines are that if you're taking a product off, and this is where we will advise and guide, you've got basically a 15% tolerance plus or minus of the weight of the new product that might be going on. Now, you know, it might be tempting to maybe put a sheet, depending on the purpose of the property, it might be tempting to put one of these sheet profile sheets on, which are easy to lay, look like a roof, but are made out of metal and not natural concrete or clay materials. But if that weight differential is beyond plus or minus 15%, effectively you're compromising the building. And it's that type of knowledge that we like to think we can bring to the table as your so-called experts and guide along the way and give you best advice to ensure you work within.
I wasn't going to ask, again, I wasn't going to go down this route, but it's important that members understand it's not just getting tiles and putting them on a roof. Is that if we've got a situation where there is more of a complicated situation on a roof, yes, is there a service you provide where you will go out for a fee and go, this is what you need by specification or by specification of what they need? Would you be able to do that?
Yes,
Absolutely.
So I'll give you just a very quick example of that, Nick. Recently, I went out to a roof that was bare at that present time, and we had to measure what the pitch was. The pitch was only 14 degrees, which means there's only a certain amount of tiles, a certain range of tiles that you can put on a roof with a pitch of 14 degrees. And by that design, they are normally a little bit more expensive because they are a specialist tile. So we quoted for what we would have suggested, as in a tile that would suit that process. And we did the takeoff, did make sure all the weightings were correct, and did that process for them and made sure we quoted the right tile. About a week later, I chased that up and they said, oh no, we went with X tile, which actually isn't suitable for that lower pitch of roof. And they asked, well, they said, we're going to get price for this now. I said, well, that tile isn't suitable for that pitch of roof. And if you do put that on, it will fail and it will let water in. No, it will be fine. It will be fine. I said, well, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to quote for that because I know it will fail. So unfortunately, there will be some situations where a bit of honest information will be provided back to you. We will not quote you for something that isn't fit for purpose.
Okay, good. That's what we need. We don't need to be told what we don't need to be told. We need the right information. Might not always like it, but I need to make sure that happens. Great. Yeah. Sorry, carry on, please. Carry on.
Okay, so this is the main information sheet for you in regards to contact details. We have set up a specific email for all members. It's, as you can see, it's lnpg@sigroofing.com. That goes to the 3 guys that are in the South office and the 3 guys that are in the North office. So when you go on there, they'll be able to, once your account is up and running and we've registered you, if you always, in your emails, always contain your account number with us, they can therefore quickly look at the system and go, right, actually, that's a North one. And the Northern team will get in contact with you or reply or deal with it or place the order, whichever it needs to be done. So as I say, should never be a situation where nobody looks at your email, because it goes to 5 people, 6 people, and plus me, so 7 people in total. And if there's any issues, then I can pick them up directly straight away.
Good.
As you can see, there's a South telephone number for the team in the South, and they're based down at Brighton. And then there's a North version. Now, the reason there's 2 mobile numbers for the North version is because one's based in Manchester, and the other one's based in Newcastle. So the idea being with that, it gives a good sort of dialect between local people in that area. There will be a 3rd contact going on there as well, which I'll update you as soon as I've got it. And that will be for anybody sort of further up than that, going towards Carlisle into Scotland. So again, mainly for geography purposes. So if somebody says, well, I've got a job in Carlisle, that the person down in Brighton, that in the South, isn't going, well, I've no idea where Carlisle is. So we've tried to put them regionally. So when you speak to somebody on those dedicated numbers, they'll know where you are in relation to which part of the country you're in. They'll know the branch network, how big that branch is, what sort of stock they're likely to keep, and any technical information. And anybody that, if you needed a site visit, for example, and you were in, we'll use Newcastle as an example, then for me to get to Newcastle is 7 hours. But for if you were to ring the Northern office, then we can organise one of the key account managers that works in the Newcastle area to go and do a site visit for us. So you won't have to wait for me to organise my diary and a week later I can eventually get up there. It will be a case of, right, yep, okay, well, Dan Berger or Jed Kimmins can go there tomorrow, for example. Just
Wales looks a bit bland. Looks a bit bland. Don't see Wales on there.
What's similar? We do a lot of public sector RSL work in Wales. We deal extensively with Flintshire Council, a little bit with Denbighshire, and it's mainly Northern Wales, and a little bit with Wrexham. So we do have a presence down there, although we service it from a branch that's outside that particular border. But we're
quite strong in Cardiff and Swansea.
That will be serviced from a very good question. That will be serviced from in Steve's area from some bordering counties down there. But I would assume we work extensively in South.
Okay, that's fine. No, just thought Scotland and part of, thought we missed out Wales. Okay.
And just to add to that, we are seriously looking at 2 sites in the south of Wales and 1 site in the north of Wales presently to add to our branch network. So it's not just, oh, well, we haven't got a branch there, sort of we'll make do sort of thing. We are looking to fill the gaps in and around the country. And then there's myself, my contact details as the LNPG account manager. I'll happily give you my mobile number, and I know some of the members have already got it, but I am in meetings. Sometimes my meetings go on for 3-4 hours of the day. So if you ring me, I might not respond to you for 4 or 5 hours, not because I'm ignoring you, just because I've been in a meeting, and then I'll come out and there'll be a lot of messages. So please email me, and that's normally my quickest route of response. But I will ring you back if you do leave me a message. Trust me, I will ring you back.
All right, good.
And then the standard website for the roofing, and then you've got the branch finder there as well. So you can just click on that, type in either your location or your postcode, and then if you need to go and visit a local branch, then you can do that.
Steve, can I just add something as well, please?
By all means.
Yeah. One key point which Steve relates to later on in the presentation. I know you said, Nick, about visiting site. We have an excellent relationship with the manufacturers of the roofing products. One of the main reasons is we're in most cases we're their biggest customer. They've got extensive external people as well, along with technical people that work for the manufacturers. They will attend site as well should we need them to, or should you need them to, if there's a particular situation where you need that type of guidance and advice. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Good, thank you. Need to move it along now. I didn't realise the time. We've been talking for half an hour. God.
Sorry.
No, it's my fault. Sorry.
It's unlike us to talk a lot.
It is, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, so just to give you a bit of a sort of an overview really of SIG and what we do as a business and how we operate. You know, our turnover as a group, and we are in many different European countries, is £3 billion. The roofline sector for the UK, 350 million. We are the only dedicated national roofing distributor within the UK. So, you know, in regards to partnering, you pick the best roofing merchant to partner with, because we are the only ones that cover the whole of the UK, or can cover the whole of the UK with our delivery network as well. We've got close on 140 dedicated roofing branches. And we stock all the major brands, Marley, Santoft, Redland, Icopal, all of the main brands we stock, and that's why we get such good service from the main blue chip brands, because we stock all of their products. And just to reiterate what Craig said, we have fantastic relationships with those manufacturers, and hence why they will pretty much at the drop of a hat come and help us out, or come and help you as a member out. All the knowledge and expertise is in the roofing, in the branches. We've got marketing people that can help. So if there is an issue, one of the real strong points for us is that we do have an estimating team. So if you have got a set of plans, or if you've just got a roof that needs doing again, then if you give us the dimensions or the pitch, or whether it's a dormer or anything like that, then we can send it to our estimating department and they'll price it up for you.
Yes, we do have a few members that have got like small developments, 5, 6, 7 houses. So that would be really good to get that information over to you and then get it to that team. Good. Like that.
And we've also got a design team. So if it was a case of, there was needing to be some steel work going through the roof, and it was a general struggle to get the pitch right or the roofing right to fit in with planning, then we've got a design team that can help.
Good.
So if you ever come across that sort of issue, then please either send it through to the LNPG email or directly to myself, and then I'll get the design team involved that can help as well.
Good.
We do have other businesses, and we can call on them when we need to, such as insulation side, plastics, external wall insulation, that sort of thing. So I know Nick is very keen to keep the sectors and the partnering agreements in place with each other. But if you find that you're having trouble getting products from a certain supplier, then if we can help, we will. But I won't be pushing that in your faces.
Just one thing I need you to stack up. Is if we go back into lockdown, can you go and get a lot of finishing plaster?
I'll dedicate a warehouse for you.
Okay, please do.
Yes. So just touching on the guarantees and warranties, we can give you, project by project, we can give you up to a 75-year warranty. Working with our manufacturers, as long as we're using their products, then we can get up to a 75-year guarantee for you. As a standard, we offer a sort of a 15-year guarantee, and that's with our own branded products, which is Tyler. And we've got the main the main roofing companies such as Redland, Marley, Santoff, that have all brought into that one warranty. And as long as we're using the right products, which if you use our estimating service, they will spec those products. So as long as you're using all the products that we've suggested and we've put on the quote, then it will automatically guarantee for 15 or 25 years. And if we need to go further than that, then we'll go back to the manufacturers and say, right, well, if it's slate, for example, then we need a 75-year guarantee on that slate. Then we'll pick the right slate to be able to do that for you.
Good. Move on.
Yeah, because I've already done the design and technical bit. So please, next slide. So again, we are fortunately, because we are such a big company, we are a roofing influencer, and we can have some sway with the major manufacturers of the tiles and the flat roofing products. So we can have that sway. So if you do find yourself with an issue, then please voice it, because we can influence some decisions. We can influence guarantees and that sort of thing. So please, let us know, and we are there to help. We're a member of the trade associations, that was easy for me to say, and we are an impartial supplier. So although we have main suppliers for us, we don't treat anybody with contempt, and we treat all our suppliers with all our manufacturing suppliers with respect. And so therefore, again, they can come and help whenever we need them to, and nobody sort of says, no, SIG, no, we're not helping you, which doesn't help you as the members in any way, shape or form.
Good.
So, yeah.
Okay, next. How many more slides we got, Anthony?
14 more. A lot of pictures for these next ones.
So I can happily miss out a couple of slides, Nick, because they are fairly repetitive, but they all do have their own sort of point that they're making, really. Yeah, the sales support team will come from the North and South teams. A passion for roofing, everybody's got it. This is one business that I've come to where nobody's here just for a job. And I can say that with my hand on my heart, that nobody works for SIG just for a job. They work for SIG because they want to, and they love roofing. As sad as that might sound, they love roofing, which is great. So
I've just seen one message come up, and it may be because of what you've just said there, is that one member has said, well, as an LNPG member, what preferential rates do we get?
So the rates will be, as soon as we've got all of the accounts on the system, you will be getting preferential rates on that, which will be available via the LNPG closed website, I believe. Anthony, is that correct?
Yes.
It's correct, yeah.
Yep. And what kind of rates, preferential rates do we get? If you look at a typical ex-pit someone going in, one of the things is that we're cheaper. Yeah. Do you know the percentages between A and B? Is it 5, 10, 15, 20?
As an average figure, I would say that you're probably going to get it about 10% cheaper than what you would do if you went off the street.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, that, as I say, that's going to be on average, that will be the right situation. But if we are up against it, then there is a little bit of flexibility as well, depending on the size of the project. So, you know, we guarantee that we will be competitive, absolutely, on every product that we sell. There may be a situation where, you know, if it's a larger project, that we may be able to cut the prices slightly, but that'll be gone negotiation on a job-by-job basis on the size of it.
Good. Okay, we answered that one. Can we have a look at some of the questions, Anthony?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, we've had quite a few come in from the beginning, really.
Yeah.
So a member needs a whole new roof. Timber's absolutely rotten. Is it just the materials you provide, or actually doing the roof as well? So installation, I guess.
It's just the materials that we provide.
We will know naturally. A number of roofers will have a good roofing network of bona fide and, I suppose, compliant, reliable roofers. So we can advise and guide. It's not necessarily something that we do on a regular basis, but we can work to find people, and then it becomes a choice for you guys in the end.
I was hoping you might say that, because it may become something that you do on a regular basis with LNPG.
And Anthony, we've got to be really careful, because if we look to be seen to promoting any one company, then we're disadvantaging somebody else. But you are and you will be an extremely important client. So our reputation is on the line, but we want to guide you and help you as well. So other than just the materials, we'll put people in front of you, and then you can decide from there. These will be people generally that are members of all the associations and work within the standards that are required within the business and industry. So they will be fit for purpose, if you like. So
Lovely, thank you. Same question there. If I need to raise my roof in order to facilitate a loft conversion, will SIG do this, including taking into account any planning and building regs compliance?
That's certainly something that we can put to the design team to see whether they can help.
Okay. Will you supply metal box profile roof sheeting under LNPG contract to give us a good price?
Yes, we can do that. Yeah. So if you want to if you've got a current live inquiry, then please send it through. Send that one through directly to me, because that's more of a sort of a specialist product rather than a normal stocked product. So it will probably be sort of just 1 in 10 branches that are likely to stock that, rather than making it a standard product. But please send it through to myself.
And one of the opportunities or options within that metal sheeting genre is a company that we already deal with that manufacture clay and concrete roof tiles. They have a subsidiary company that's connected, the Decra, that does the profile sheeting. So again, we've got good contacts within that sector as well.
Can you supply insulation for cavity walls and lofts?
Certainly for the loft side of it, yes. Cavity wall side, as I say, that's sort of our SIG distribution brand. But yes, we can certainly organise that for you.
Do you deal with flat roofs?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Again, we can design and give you takeoffs for that. I can also provide you with a link that enables you to do it yourself. If it's sort of a speed thing that you wanted to do, or as I say, alternatively, you can send it through to us, through to the estimating team. We've got estimating teams for pitched roofing and for flat roofing. So, you know, there is a clear, definitive people that look after each sector.
And well, two more questions. Can you supply Tesla solar roof tiles?
Oh, Craig, you might have to deal with that one for me.
Tesla, rather than focus on one particular manufacturer, we did actually sell and distribute PVs, photovoltaics, a number of years ago. We pulled away from it when the government started to reduce the tariff, and it lost its pace to a degree. But to answer the question, we can get access to it. We don't openly promote it, but we know manufacturers who do it, and we could broker that type of arrangement or introduction to that.
Okay, brilliant. And a final question for now. LNPG@sigroofing.com. The email doesn't actually work at the minute. It says it'll only accept messages from people in its organization or on its allowed senders list. So something for you to look at, Steve.
Okay, that's probably because I did tell the IT guys that we were going live on the 1st of November, but I'll make sure that they make it live. But if you've got any inquiries, then please send them through directly to myself.
Okay. What's that last one, Anthony?
I was going to read that one out in a little bit, but it says, I think SIG are missing a trick. When a landlord or developer asks a roofer to quote, they cannot then specify where the roofer sources their materials.
I don't understand that.
No, I don't.
I do. If I could just say, watch this space. Hopefully, in something that I'm working on with SIG senior management will hopefully come into force or come into play and give us an option to do that. Sort of probably Q2 of next year.
Okay.
But I'll have a word with you about that offline, Nick.
Okay. Did anybody understand that? Because I did not. Am I being stupid?
So if let's just say that your roofer comes to do your roof, and you ring me and say, can you give me a quote for this?
Yeah.
And I give you the quote for that, and you go, right, yeah, great, thanks very much. There you go, Mr. Builder. This is what I need you to get. He could go anywhere and get that.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so there's no control over where the end user buys that materials from if it's the builder contractor buying the materials. Obviously, if it's one of your members, then they will, and you'll know where they're buying it because we can produce the reports. But if it's not, and it's a contractor, then in theory, the member that just made that comment is absolutely right. There is no control over that at the moment, but that's something that I'm working to bring in, which will hopefully work in favour of yourselves as well then. Okay. And then regarding the other question, Bins, I've started down this road of do we have roofing contractors that we can recommend? So that will probably fall into that as well. But as Craig said, at the moment, we can certainly give you names and numbers, but we can't really put our name to it because it's for insurance purposes and that sort of thing. But
yeah, we do a very similar thing with carpet and flooring, our carpet supplier. They've got a list of installers that they have that they can give the details to our members, but it should never be seen as a recommendation because at the end of the day, they're not employed by carpet and flooring. There should be an obligation for them to sort of follow up on the work or anything like that.
Well put, Anthony. Yeah.
Greatly worded, Anthony. Better than I could.
Thank you. Well, that English degree is really paying off.
It wasn't a waste of money.
Shall we continue?
Yeah, please.
And go for the next slide for me, Anthony, please. Going over the knowledge and the expertise again, everybody in the branch is roofing centric. You'll have a single point of contact or a single team of contacts for the north and for the south, who are fully up with legislation side of it. They've got certainly the northern team, I think there's probably about 70 years experience just within those 3 people. So you shouldn't, as I said, again, you shouldn't come across a problem that them 3 can't solve. And if you do, then there's somebody older and wiser that has had that problem and will be able to deal with it for you. And next slide. So problem solvers, again, the design team can help you out with any issue that we come across in regards to a roof. The continuity of supply. During COVID, as Nick mentioned, with the multi-finish, there has been huge shortages of materials. We haven't run out of product. We might have superseded it with different product. So, for example, a normal concrete plain tile, we may not have a Redland plain tile in stock, but actually we've got probably about 100 loads of a different manufacturers in stock. So, it may not be exactly the same color as what you've been currently getting. You're halfway through the job, but it is a very good match. And if you're building a new roof, then you won't notice any different. And those products, the replacement products that we brought in from sort of, if you like, secondary manufacturers that we wouldn't normally use, they're all within our 1 warranty. So again, if they're designed using our products and estimated using our products, then we can put that into the 1 warranty, which gives you peace of mind that they're fit for purpose. Simplified buying process, again, through the LNPG email. I understand now that that's not working, but I'll make sure that works very, very quickly. Tomorrow it will work. So simplified buying process, they'll take care of everything and they'll take the payments for you. Next slide for me, Anthony. And I think
sorry, can I ask, can we go back to that slide? So
yeah.
The reason why I'm asking, is simplified buying process. Paying for it. So let's say you do me some designs and I go, yeah, like that. And it's a couple of thousand, £3,000 or £4,000, whatever it is.
Yep.
Do I have to then drive to a branch to pay for it? Or can I do it over the phone? Or how does that simple buying process, how do I actually pay for it?
So you can pay for it over the phone, by card, or you can even do a bank transfer. Okay.
And so that will be to a central point or to any branch?
It will be to the central point, and then that central point, the accounts people behind the scenes look after it. So so everybody's aware. So let's just say it's in Newcastle that the phone call goes to. It will be processed at Newcastle by Jed, for example, but it's being delivered by the Manchester branch, and then the Manchester branch will get the take-ins the payment will go through the Manchester branch, which doesn't sound like much, but actually if you've got 10 tiles that you've over-ordered or something like that and you want to take them back, then you can get the refund from the Manchester branch.
Yes, yeah, brilliant. Okay, thank you.
So it should make it a lot simpler and easier to do it that way.
Yeah. Is there a shelf stocking? Because some partners, as you know, will charge for restocking. Is there a restocking?
So there would only be a restocking if it's on a special product. So it's something that we don't stock at our normal branches or in our hub branches. Yeah. Then yes, there could quite easily be a restocking charge, but that will be explained upon ordering if that was likely to happen.
Okay, brilliant.
I think the first line on this slide just sums it up really. Yeah, we've got £30 million worth of stock. And that's not in our hub locations, that's just in our branches. So our hub locations will probably have that again. And therefore, we've got a huge range and volume of stock, even at this time where we've had to use secondary manufacturers to up our stocks and keep us able to supply product.
Okay.
just the last one on that, the localized stock. And I'll use Norfolk as an example. I don't live too far away from Norfolk. And there is some tiles which they call the Anglian tile, which predominantly is used on sort of the Norfolk-Suffolk border, going towards the coast in Norfolk. So most branches in Norfolk will stock that tile. So what I'm trying to get to really is if there's a product that is predominantly used in your area, the chances are our branches in your area will stock it, and therefore we won't be in a situation where we've got stock that's suitable for Scotland being used in Essex or London, for example, and likewise.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And next slide, please, Anthony. Again, as you can see from the map just to the right of the slide, local network of depots. We've got over 180 specific vehicles that can facilitate deliveries throughout the UK. We do, where we need to, use direct-to-site deliveries or haulage companies that, you know, if there was a situation where you wanted it in the northwest of Wales and we haven't got a branch there and we're not going there, we'll put it on a haulier for you. And where possible, we will not charge you a delivery charge. There may be situations where we do have to, but where possible, we will try not to.
Okay, thank you.
Steve, in situations where you've got to use one of the vans that looks like this big monster here, what sort of delivery is available with that? Because that's not going down a lot of residential streets by the look of it.
No, but most branches will have smaller vehicles than that. That's probably a vehicle that comes out of one of our hubs, which is, if you like, the main delivery vehicles that they use. But there are smaller vehicles to be able to do that. Most branch managers have got L200s. So if there was a pallet of tiles that needed to go down a really small, tight area, you know, an L200 is virtually no bigger than a standard estate car. So most branch managers have an L200, and if they don't, then a local branch manager has, and therefore it can be delivered that way.
Thank you.
Next slide, please. So just a quick one in regards to stock and how we look after it, really, and to make sure that we've got the stock available for you at all times. Over the past sort of 6 to 9 months, perhaps 12 months, the SIG have had a big push on reducing slow moving and damaged stock. Our figures showed that we had probably about £3 million worth of stock that nobody had brought for the last 18 months. So they had a big push of getting rid of all of that old stock to make way for new stock in regards to fast moving stock, and therefore allowing, again, availability of the product to be there and to have a timely delivery when you need it and not sort of in a broken state when it gets to you. So you will have new regular stock all the time in regards to that, and have good stock availability for you whenever you need it. Hopefully you can see that slide. I tried to put as much information on there as possible in regards to the products that we can supply you with, and they are standard products for us. So I'm not going to run through all the products that are on that list because there's a following slide which again details them name by name. But if you take that slide away, either take a picture of it and enlarge it, or ask Anthony to put it on the LNPG site. I'm not sure if you can do that, Anthony.
I think I'll figure out a way, Steve.
Okay, brilliant.
Don't forget, this is being recorded, and what happens is this goes on our website.
Yeah, I'll put the slide deck next to it as well as a downloadable PowerPoint.
So you can see that, yeah, where we can provide every single piece of material that goes on top of your roof. And we're just in the process, probably about 2-3 months away, of being able to partner up with some roof truss manufacturers. So that's one of the things that I saw straight away, that actually if we're supplying all the roofing materials, then we should be able to supply the roof trusses as well. So I haven't quite nailed that one down yet, but as soon as I do, then I'll pass that information on to yourselves. So if you want the complete roof structure, then you can purchase that from us.
I look forward to that one.
Okay. And that slide is just, if you like, a written version of the previous slide. So again, it gives you all the products that we do in regards to product ranges that we do, and then all of the sort of different products that fall out of that.
So is there anything on here, or should I say not on here, that you guys do sell? Or is it a case of if it's not on there, you can't get it?
There's probably a lot of things on there that aren't on there, or perhaps fall into different categories that you may think, oh, well, they don't do that. Well, actually, it might fall into decking profiles, for example, or it might fall into purlins or flashings or whatever it may be. So, you know, if you're looking for something for the roof, then please email, phone us, then and we'll do our best to get a hold of it for you.
Yeah, it's worth asking the question.
Yes, absolutely. So we do our bit for sort of the people, the community and charities around the UK. You know, we try and invest some of our profits back into that. So if you ever get a situation, this is LNPG in general rather than perhaps specific members. But if LNPG find themselves that need to sponsor, then we can happily look at something to be able to provide that and build the name and our partnership together.
Do you do what do you call it? Solar panels?
Yes, we can get hold of solar panels for you. We don't keep them in stock, but yeah, absolutely. Again, we've got a design team that can be able to do that and plan it all out for you and take delivery and payment for it, no problem at all.
Okay, and price-wise, are we there or thereabouts? Oh, I know very little about solar panels.
If I'm honest, I'm not sure. Craig?
Yeah, I don't know myself, to be quite honest, although I have sold them in the past. With the contacts we have, we'll be very competitive, Nick, both for the PV panels and the inverters. Have I got that right? So the package will be competitive. I know that sounds like salesperson speak, but it will be, because we have the contacts and we are of a size that allows us to buy very competitively. So yeah, it's not a product that we openly promote, but for the right people, we can get access to.
Because people are asking about solar tiles.
Yeah, that's interesting. The technology's there. I don't know I know of one manufacturer that actually does it. I've never seen their product in situ and how it performs, but
I know nothing about it.
Yeah, there is that product out there, but I don't know much about it, to be quite honest.
Okay, fine.
I think from this slide, you know, there's the obvious ones regarding avoiding congestion when we're delivering, avoiding storage and security issues. But the main one for me is reducing the tenant disruption. If you've got tenants in your property and you will take in the roof off and therefore it's going to be laid bare and open to the elements, then, you know, if we say we're going to deliver it on Friday afternoon, so your contractors can be in there Friday afternoon or Saturday morning, we will deliver it Friday afternoon. We've got the capacity to be able to do it with the vehicles that we've got. So that's what I think that's one of the main things to take from that slide, is that we reduce your tenants' disruption.
That's, yeah, bang on, Steve. Tenanted or untenanted, it's so important not to have tradesmen sitting around not doing anything, waiting for a delivery that's just not going to show up. So yeah, you're dead right. That's so important.
Yeah, go for it. Next slide, please. Again, as I touched on earlier, we are the largest national distributor of roofing materials in the UK. We've got multiple branches across the country. Most of them are close to urban centres, but not in the urban centre. They're normally on an industrial estate on the outside of it, mainly for its ease of non-congestion, being able to get out and get an early delivery for you, or even a late delivery for you, and not getting caught up in the centre of the traffic during the course of the day. fast stock ranges of core materials. And like I said, in regards to locality-wise, in regards to materials, if there is a situation where you think, wow, actually, well, I've got 10 properties and they're all in this area and they all use this tile, but we don't currently stock that tile, talk to us, because if you've got 10, the chances are you're going to need some sort of roofing material or some roofing tiles during the course of that year, and we will stock that for you. We may not stock it in thousands and thousands, but we'll stock enough to get you out of trouble and repair a roof, rather than you having to search the country, or for us to search the country to try and find one, and then you have to pay extra haulage costs and that sort of thing. So if you've got properties in certain locations, then please let us know. And if we're not stocking it, then we'll look to stock an amount for you to make life easier. I think the rest of it is just duplication of what I've already said, really. So please go on to the next slide, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, as I said, I think we're perfectly positioned to be a good partner for the LNPG. I think we've got all the right locations, all the right benefits for you, and we hopefully are going to bring the training team was made redundant at the start of this year, but we are looking at bringing that back. So, if you do have, again, properties that have a definite sort of material requirement and it needs to be a skilled labour force that's qualified to lay it, then we can put on a training session for that. We don't currently do it, so again, that's probably Q1, Q2 of next year. But the training department is on its way back, and we'll be able to provide you with training on certain products. And therefore, if you've got a contractor that you always use, but in theory he can't lay that product for you because he's not trained, give us a shout. Even at this present time, we may be able to help.
I think you're going to be a great partner, because I mean, one of the things is that with Jewsons was that when we spoke to Jewsons about you, that they've got a few specialist branch, but again, they're not going to have the expertise that you've got. So when I spoke to Jewsons, because there was a conflict in our contract, they said, no, we don't have an issue with that, because we know Steve, we know SIG, and it'll be a great complement to this side of the business, because we've never covered roofs before in a positive way. Because, I've got some knowledge, and don't members ring me. It's been a long time since I've been on a roof. These people know 10 times more than I do. I know
they were after a contractor, weren't they? Perhaps you could be that contractor.
Oh, no, you shut up. I am not getting involved. Many years ago. And again, it's about giving the expertise to you to help our members. That's the real exciting part from us, because we don't have that expertise, but you do. And why do we have to reinvent the wheel when you're the wheel, as it were? So I'm really excited that members can come to you, get advice, and then buy the product. So I'm really, really, really impressed with that. I'm really liking it.
Just got a couple of questions to sort of finish up with then.
Okay.
Steve, you mentioned 10% earlier on of a rough approximation of what LNPG members can get off. Is that 10% across the board? The answer to some of the questions is yes, we can supply, but is that a guarantee of 10% less if it's, something a little more specialist?
Again, if it's something that's a specialist product that the member's going to buy one or two of, then I think we're probably, our pricing is going to be very similar to what you could buy one or two off of the internet. But the added bit to the doing with us is obviously you'll be buying it through us, and therefore it will come to be delivered to our local branch. And then you've got the security of, if something's gone wrong, you can bring it back to us and we can sort that problem out, rather than it's been delivered from Portugal via a carrier and it turns up and it's damaged or broken, and then you've got nothing to go back to apart from sending it back and costing you another haulage fee. So, as I say, for general products that we stock, yes, absolutely, we should be more competitive than anybody else. But in regards to sort of one-off specials, our pricing is probably going to be there or thereabouts, but you've got the added benefit of being able to deal with us as a company and individuals.
Great answer. And final question, I believe, unless there's any more that people want to put in. Do you do a matching service or a similar tile service to help with joining roofing to an adjacent property?
Yes. Yeah, as I say, yeah, if it's local to me, then I'll go and do it. If it's local to Craig, he'll go and do it. But if it's not local to either of us, there's probably about 30 versions of me and Craig across the country that work in different sort of departments of SIG Roofing, that we can pick up the phone to and just say, can you go here tomorrow for me and just go and match this tile? And yeah, they'll go and do it for us and report back. So absolutely, no problem.
Brilliant. Well, I think that comes to the end of our questions.
I think it does. And again, we finished on time. Paul, on time. So I'm impressed we finished on time. Yeah, okay. Look at him. He's so rude, isn't he?
4 minutes.
No, I'm really excited from a point of view that it's about knowledge. It's about educating the landlords. We know that we're going to be on the majority cheaper. There might be one or two things I don't know, but it's about giving you, the members, knowledge is power. If you give that knowledge to the landlords, and then they can make decisions. It's not always about the cheapness, like that guy with the roof where he got leaked and it fails. It's about getting the right information so that the members can make that right decision. It's about, I've done it on paint. It's putting the right paint on the wall that's going to last them, not contract mat that every 2 minutes you're painting it, touching it up or whatever. It's about putting the right boilers in. It's about putting the right stuff in, the equipment. Yeah, we haven't got everything right. It's about giving that information to people to make an informed decision, which I'm really pleased. And that's the way that LNPG are going. And these webinars, again, by the time we come off, it'll be 300 or 400 people watching it. By the end of the week, there'll be another 400 or 500 watching it. So that's 500 to 800 people watching it that are learning and being educated. And it's costing them absolutely nothing. It's about getting that information out there. So thank you so much, you two, Craig and Steve, for coming out. Thank you for giving me your time.
Good for the opportunity, Nick.
Yeah. And it's about working together. It really is about working together and getting that expertise out there, because people just look at a roof and just think that it just was suddenly there. You actually put one up. Oh, that's a different story. I've worked on them.
Yeah, I think it was illustrated quite well earlier on. Someone mentioned about having that conversation with the roofer and them going off and getting their own specification. Well, now you're in a better position to have that conversation with the roofer in the first place and come back to them and say, well, actually, I need to do this, that, the other, and obviously get better pricing than them. So that's fantastic. And Nick, if I may just quickly utilize this space of 500 or so people and say, I posted on the LNPG group earlier today about magnet testimonials. If you've installed a magnet kitchen, a particularly fantastic looking magnet kitchen over the last few weeks, I want to see it. I want you to comment that, and you're in there with the chance of winning £50 of M&S vouchers. So please look at that. Please send me your pictures. Thank you very much.
Can I just say thank you very much for all the members that came on.
No, that's a pleasure. And also, just taking this space as well for later, is that I've been talking to Johnston's the last sort of 10 days, and